You don't need a massive plan to move forward. You need one aligned step to take first. If you're afraid that not having a massive plan is starting too small, let's just reframe that today in this episode of The Bright Beginnings. When you're starting small, you're being strategic, not limiting. This is day 4 of The Bright Beginnings, where I'm helping people start their businesses. On day 1, we talked about starting even when you don't feel ready. On day 2, we talked about creating a life-first business, not a hustle-first business. And on day 3, we talked about focusing on our 3 anchors of our business and getting a clear direction to move in. If you have missed any of those days, I will put a link in the description to the playlist for all 6 days of The Bright Beginnings. All right, so you might see me looking down here. That's because I have notes on my computer screen and my camera is up here. So let's take a look. I do not want to miss a single thing that is on my notes. So today let's talk about busy work versus aligned action. So busy often feels productive. Often when we're working our businesses, we do busy work that we feel is important or that we're just supposed to do, but actually isn't creating any momentum in our business. I like to create tasks lists, even in my head or on paper, although absolutely paper is the best way to do it. When you have it on paper, you're able to see what you've done, what you've accomplished, what you have coming up next. And I talked about this in a video. I will put it right here. So if you want to check this out in another video, I did talk about it. But I believe that the best method is doing an ongoing task list and not a daily task list. Because if you do a daily task list and you aren't able to complete what was on your day, you felt like you didn't achieve anything, you felt like you're a failure, but that's not true. So I like an ongoing task list. Sorry, that's hard to say, because it allows you to just go in order of importance, put what's important at the top, and as you complete it, move on to the next one. You do not necessarily have a task you have to complete in that 30 minutes or that 2 hours that you have going on that day. You might have a deadline for it, but it's not something that you're going to be like, oh, I didn't complete this, I failed. So check that out in the video that I just talked about. There's a time management framework you've probably seen before. The one with 4 boxes, 2 over 2, that helps you separate what's actually important from what just feels urgent. This is often called the Eisenhower Matrix. And I just drew out a little idea of what this is. You have the important row and you have the not important row. You have the urgent column and the not urgent column. So important and urgent, important but not urgent. This one was supposed to say not important. Ready? Not important and urgent, whereas this one says not important and not urgent. All right. Sorry I messed that one up for you guys. But that can really help you if you're a visual person on how to figure out what's busy, what's moving you forward, because busy work makes you feel productive, but focus work actually moves you forward. So, like I said, I like to do the ongoing task list and you decide what's important. You can do it with that Eisenhower Matrix or another form, but the ongoing task list is my preferred method for figuring out what's important and what's just busy work. Remember that when you are taking aligned action and doing important tasks, not just busy work, that's going to help you move forward. It's going to help create feedback because you're going to learn as you go along. You're going to get more clarity and you can further develop your business. So some examples of aligned clarity or aligned action that can bring you to clarity are talking to real people. So, once you have the ideas we talked about in this last video, you have ideas and you're starting to move in a direction, you start talking to people and finding out how they really feel, what they really feel is an important problem that they need fixing, what it is they're looking for, how they feel about things. So talking to people really creates an alignment. It's important to your business, and talking to people just absolutely needs to be done, not busy work if you're doing it correctly. So then testing out ideas instead of perfecting them. So some people will take an entire year to build out a course without ever actually implementing any of it. So if you end up taking all that time and you build it and then you find out this isn't the problem that people are actually having, or this is not the solution that's going to work for them, this is not how they want to consume this information, you spent all that time perfecting it, but you really should have been testing out the ideas and talking to people to make sure that that idea was important to them and that they were willing to pay you for it. So then also taking one step that creates learning. It's important to learn. I did talk about in another video, procrastinating, where you are procrastinating by learning. But learning is important. So if you're learning about your customers, learning about how to do your business, such as this Bright Beginning series, you are learning about what's important to your business. So learning is important, but you need to not just learn, but you need to take action. So that way you are actually putting in place what you have learned. When you are starting small and strategic, it is important to be consistent. That is way more important than intensity. If you just try to go all gung-ho for 2-3 weeks, a month, but then you fizzle out, it's not going to help your business. You burned yourself out and then you faded. There was actually one of my sister's coaches in high school. She is a runner still. He would always call it the sparkle and fade, where you would start off the race really fast and you started off so fast that you were not able to keep up that same speed. And by the end of the race, you're barely even running at all. And so he called it the sparkle and fade effect. That is very common in business, and I do not want you to do that at all. Starting small is okay, as long as you're consistent. 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week, whatever it is that you need to do. One aligned step beats all the exhausting ones. So if you are spending so much energy on busy work or too much energy on trying to get it all done right now, you are going to burn yourself out. You're going to be exhausted and you're not taking aligned steps. With each one of these videos, I am giving a worksheet, and the worksheets are linked in the description. You can go ahead, put in your email, and I'll send you those for free. Regardless if you do the worksheets or not, really think about this. What is a step you can take? So yesterday we wanted to get a clear direction. Now from that direction, what can you do? What's the next step that you can take that will help you get feedback on your direction so you can learn more, get a little more clear. You can put in a few more details. into that anchor sentence that we did yesterday. Can you talk to someone about what their problems are? Can you talk to someone about how they would like their problems solved? What can you do? Can you learn something about implementing something in your business? Can you fill out an Eisenhower Matrix and figure out what's really important and what work have you been doing that is really not important and is not going to help you build your business. Sorry if you hear that. That is the radiator that is clicking away as the heat is kicking in right now. So if you're finding any of this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more helpful videos and to help you start or grow your business. This process of starting small can be a calm one, no hustle required. I am all about creating a life first business opposed to a hustle first business. This is not about hustling. Hustling will not create a business for the long term. You have to be consistent. You have to be willing to stick at it. Most businesses are actually successful because they keep going. If you want to be a content creator, it is often heard of people creating 10, 20 videos and never creating another one. They don't reach the status that they want to quick enough. They're not making the money that they want quick enough, whatever it is, and they give up. That often happens in business. It's been referred to as a cycle where you have this great idea, you put all this work in, you're excited about it, then all of a sudden you start getting overwhelmed, you're not so into it anymore, you end up quitting it, and then all of a sudden you have this idea, you start building a business, and you go through this entrepreneur cycle where you get all excited, then you get burnt out, then you quit, then you start all over again. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to create a business that focuses on your life, that you can do consistently, that you can create strategically and small. Tomorrow is day 5, where we will be talking about continuing when fears show up. Fear is normal. We can't let it stop our progress. See you tomorrow. All 6 days of the worksheets are included in the Google Doc, and you will have one sheet per day that you can fill out after watching this video. Now, if you don't want to do that, I do suggest that you at least do this prompt. What is one step that creates feedback, that creates growth instead of perfection, right? Talking to somebody, testing out something.